All right, folks, we are comparing the Z950 Deere with the Twill 60-inch cut to some other popular brands. This mower got the 27 Kawasaki motor. Obviously has the Twills. You know, this is not a Twill comparison. It's Twills are love it or hate it type thing. They do make the mower ride a little bit better, but we have found, as well as been told by a lot of customers that we've sold them to, that on fresh turf they're very easy to tear up fresh turf, and they hills with moisture, they don't hold it very well at all going sideways. They'll climb because they flatten out and give you a lot of surface contact. You also have got the 7-iron John Deere 60-inch cut stamp deck. Yes, it's 7 gauge. Yes, it's stamped. You don't have a trim guard on this side that a lot of people are using now. Your anti-scalp wheels are welded to the deck instead of bolted on, so when you bend those, you have to weld those back, and that whole hassle instead of just unbolting it and straightening it out or buying a new one and going from there. You've got the cheap hollow wheels, no bearings, it's just plastic, just hollow, so they're not going to last very long. You've got a very inexpensive deck hanger set up right here. You've got 12.9 metric bolts up here. Those things are stout, folks. Those are really crazy strong. Got your grease fittings on the front end, got your run flat tires. Just looking at this mower, of course you got your suspension seat. This is a new mower. I mean, it's dirty, but it's a new mower. This mower's only got, what is that, about 150 hours. It's a 2020 model. Or a customer bought it about a month and a half ago. Just glancing at it, you know, the seat, you know, this is crazy. I don't know if you can see this from here, but when I move the seat, look at the deck flop around everywhere. I mean, it's just not very well stabilized, I guess you could say. It may be good quality, but it's not very well stabilized. It moves around a whole lot. You got little plastic cheap covers on top of the spindle, or the pulleys and the spindles. Got your grease fitting there on top. One thing I found very concerning on these 9 series mowers is look at how cheap this hanger, this metal is right here. Look at how thin this is. That is what is holding the front end on here, guys. Look at how close those pulleys are to the top of this deck. Grass is going to get up under there and rust these pulleys out. I mean, making it enormously hard to keep clean. You've got one really long belt driving this mower, very long, which draws a lot more power, not as strong. A lot of stamped stuff. Yes, it's cast iron, but it's a lot of stamp type pot metal on this. From experience, after these mowers get some hours on them, they handle very different than the way they do new. You've got a dial deck height set up. Take it or leave it, that works, obviously. You've got this cheap plastic wiring everywhere. I mean, little hollow plastic loom wiring. That's even the cover, even the plastic cover is cheap. That's obviously not heavy built. You got a little plastic cover covering part of the fan down in there. The fan's hidden down in there, so it's extremely hard to get to replace, to blow out. You can see on this mower, just with 150 commercial hours on it, you can see the inside of that fan's caked with stuff. So it's gonna wobble around, throw it out of balance most likely, fairly soon. You've got a gas tank on one side, which means it's not going to be balanced on hills. You've got a cast iron weight on the back. Well, if the mower, when it was designed, was balanced a little bit better, you wouldn't have to run that on it. The other crazy thing about this, and I'm not going to set these roll bars up, but these roll bars angle like this. So kind of like this Ferris right here. They angle up like that, and I don't think his is bolted in. They are. So if you happen to get it on under a tree limb, it will come straight down on top of your head. Not cool. There we are. So, you know, not very cool having that roll bar angled forward like that. On this mower, on this mower, that guy. No. Okay. On this mower, some other things. Parking brake's extremely hard to engage on this, by the way. Not conducive for a lot of other people, but if you look at other mowers comparable to this, I mean, that pulley is on top of that deck. There is nothing there. It's already got, well, the deck wobbles around so much you can't hardly tell, but it's just a piss poor design. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it is. I know it's green and yellow paint, and all these people go goo goo gaga over green and yellow paint sometimes, but I mean, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. Facts are facts. I mean, just comparing this to another customer's lawnmower here, you've got a Tiger Cat. Pulleys are elevated so grass can flow off the top. The deck is thicker only where it needs to be, where the pulleys and the spindles and everything mount. So no more additional weight. I mean, a super duper heavy lawnmower doesn't need to be on your yard. It needs to be heavy built where it needs to be, and that's it. You've got the anti-scalp wheels, got brass bushings, and they're bolt-on, so you bend it, you can put a new one on, okay? These obviously aren't. You have twin gas tanks, keeps everything balanced. Of course, you got a suspension seat. I can rock this seat all I want to, and that deck, the mower moves, but the deck doesn't. So, of course, the Tiger Cats, the Tiger Cat 2s and stuff have disc brakes. Got run flat tires, got the same size rear tires. And twills, the whole thing about twills, folks, pretty much everybody's got twills for every name brand lawnmower anyway. But comparing, I mean, know your facts before you go buy a lawnmower. Compare these little things, and yes, these lawnmowers last a long time. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't, not saying that they're not well built, but they're just not well built compared to other mowers in this same price range. They're not going to last as long. You've got to run ridiculously recommended expensive hydraulic oil in these tough torque transmissions, which they're tough torque transmissions on these. You can get the Hydro Gear transmissions, you can get Parker pumps, you can get all kinds of different things with other brands. We're not comparing this to any one particular brand, we're just comparing the lack of quality of this lawnmower. You can compare this against this mower. We can compare it against, let's compare it against the Mach 1 Gravely. You've got a 31 Kawasaki, the 921. You got the same suspension seat. You've got, look how much heavier built these hangers are than the Deere. You've got the run flat tires. You've got twin gas tanks. I think Deere's right now, almost positive they've got a 3-year, 1,500 hour warranty. on the machine. Gravely's got 5 years, like 1750 or 1800 hours off the top of my head. The lifetime warranty on the deck, that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you look at the wear items, and I'm gonna have to move the phone here real quick. You look at the wear items of these mowers. Look at the wiring on this Mach 1 Gravely. Look at the sealed fuses. You've got Hydro-Gear transmissions in this versus, like I said, the Tough Torque in the Deere. So, you know, it's whatever your preference there. They're both good transmissions. But I mean, not just this mower. Compare it against the Skag. Compare it against the Wright. Compare it against the Gravely. Compare it against a lot of other brand mowers. Let's go compare it against a Wright, the big Z mower, the MMZ, Mid-Mountain Z. Comparing it against them, on the right, you're going to have the Hydro-Gear pumps and the wheel motors, same comparable size. You have twin gas tanks that is self-siphon. You have the 27 Kawasaki. See how low this mower sits here in the middle to the ground? So it's great on hills. You have the Grammer suspension seat, good seat. You can see on these mowers, we can look at from the bottom. Obviously, these are bolt-on. You can see how they cover these spindles, so grass doesn't build up on top of them and cause things to rust. These spindles are elevated. These pulleys are elevated off the top of the deck. It's a 7-gauge fabricated deck, so they're off the deck, so grass flows off. Everything is super easily accessible. Comes with a striping kit standard. Comes with run flat tires standard. Obviously, you can get twills for this as well. Deck height setup, it's just a simple pin. You know, it's super easy. Park and brake is not difficult to take off, not difficult to engage. You know, much more user friendly. One fuel gauge, although it has 2 tanks. So they self-siphon, so you do not have to worry about running out of gas and switching tanks. You've got chains hanging these. This deck does not move laterally like you're talking about other decks like the Deere was. It's much more stable, much more stable. I mean, compare that Deere to this residential 61-inch cut mower. It doesn't move. You still got the same anti-scalp wheels. You've got Kohler motor on this one. It's a residential mower, folks. The fans covered by metal, not plastic. The wiring, the battery is encased. You've got steel pulleys, you know, but they're off the ground, off the deck, so grass doesn't build up. I mean, compare these mowers to other things when you're out shopping for a mower, and be educated. I mean, common sense goes a long ways. If something's on top of that, if something's low profile on top of that deck, grass builds up under there. Wet grass is acidic. It's not going to last as long. The longer the belt, I mean, which one is stronger, a 100-foot rope or the same diameter rope in 6 feet? Obviously, the 6 foot of rope is going to be stronger than 100. So less horsepower loss, belt's going to be stronger. You know, you have adjustable clutches. You know, not only are most other brands comparable to that 950 Deere stronger, more heavier built clutch, but they're also adjustable. So, you know your mowers when you're buying. But there's a lot of other choices out there. If we can earn your business, we sell a lot of different brands. We sell Skag, Gravely, Echo, Steel, Cub Cadet, Cub Commercial, lots of Wright, obviously. lots of different brands mowers. Be happy to show you why the mowers that we have are superior to any other brand in the industry. We can show you those facts. So come by the Vance store and check us out.